beers. Bloody brilliant
beers.
Bloody brilliant sport.
And welcome back to the Bloody Brilliant Beers podcast, brought to you by Bluebet.
That's Klutz, I'm Das. We are the Bloody Brilliant Beers. We started out reviewing craft beers on Facebook, and now we bring you the conversations that you'd more than likely hear from the front bar at your local. And Klutzy, where are we this evening?
Mate, it might not look like it, but we are actually at the Caxton Hotel.
We are. We've got a bit of a new backdrop. The studio's had a bit of an upgrade.
Yep.
It's not complete yet, but yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or having a look at the clips, you'll notice that it's a little bit different. So we're stoked with how it's coming along.
Yeah, shout out to you and the Fossa Raptor for putting this together. It's
one of Australia's great chippies.
Yeah, Chippy, Sparky, Plumber.
Yep.
He can do everything, to be honest.
Once again, we're joined by the ever-powerful Don from Donny Sports.
Yes. Wow, no cuck joke today. That's good. That's good stuff.
You see, that was the joke because you said it yourself. This is our weekly sports show.
I'm a cuck.
And if you're looking for a breakdown of analysis and statistical... I always fuck this up. I never actually have I should
look at the stats and shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck off. You're in the wrong podcast. But how are you, gentlemen? How's it feel to be back at the Caco?
Yeah, just like the other 6 days of the week.
Yeah.
The same.
Yep.
Electric.
Yeah,
Awesome.
electric as always.
Yep.
The best pub I've ever been to. I wanted to kick this week's sports show off. Klutzy, you actually passed comment on the weekend in our group chat of something that I thought was pretty funny, and I was like, we could definitely unpack this.
Well, it's good to see I'm not passing wind.
No, well, you have been all day, but that's just part and parcel.
Yep.
Anyway, it was after the Wallabies had a pretty disappointing loss on Saturday night, I believe it was, last week.
Yeah, look, once again, refereeing decisions ruined the game they play in heaven.
Yeah,
it had me off the whole thing last year, was that majority of games you don't remember the game because of what's actually happened, by the players. You remember it because the referees made some fucking atrocious call.
Yep. So for people who weren't watching the game, what happened? Basically, it was a contentious call against Australia.
Mate, Mark Nwanganitawaze takes an intercept try and goes under the post, and it's like, fuck yeah, awesome.
Victory,
here we
Australia.
go.
3 to go. 3 minutes to go or something.
So good. And then it was just penalty after penalty after penalty, marching the RGs down the field.
Yep.
And they ended up scoring a try. And it's heartbreaking stuff.
And as we've stated on this podcast previously, and we're yet to kick off our campaign officially and formally, but we want to make rugby great again in Australia towards the back end of this year. Obviously a World Cup year.
Yep.
And we think that the Australian public needs to make more noise about it and get behind the Wallabies.
Correct.
And something that you actually said in the group chat, I think could be a good step in making rugby great again. And your solution to fixing this problem was to implement 6th grade referees to all international games.
Fucking oath, because they just let it happen. They just let it play.
Yep.
It is so, and as I said, because a lot of the time they're fucking 20 metres behind play.
No idea what's going on.
But it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And you've seen firsthand where you ask the referee what happened. I actually have no fucking idea.
I've been to a few of Klutzy's games, and there was one in particular where there was a penalty with probably 5 minutes to go, and the game was close, and everyone ran up to the ref and was like, how long to go? What's the score? And he literally said, I have no fucking idea.
Exactly. It's so good. And like the touch judges and stuff you get as well, they don't put their flag up to make decisions.
No, it's usually the 19th man.
Yeah. I was going to say, sometimes it's good if you have like a bench player from each team.
Yeah.
So someone who's not going to get many minutes, chuck them on one side of the field.
Keep them fit.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's a sort of a weird call coming, if the opposition puts their foot out or doesn't put their foot out, just put your flag up.
But the thing is, if there's someone from each team, like one on each side, it's going to balance it out anyway.
Exactly.
You could argue that they're going to be biased, but like you've got one on the other side.
One of the all-time great scenarios that I've seen this actually happen. It benefited me. Year 12 in the seconds, we're playing against Lorries, and it was a very hotly contested game. And Dan Ryan, friend of the podcast, I'm pretty sure he was kicking for goal, which is a surprise to everyone.
Yeah, big shock.
He was
if you know
prop
Dan,
at that point.
if you know Dan,
so
that
I
will come
forgot
as
if it
a
was
shock.
him or someone else, but they're kicking for goal. I think I've absolutely just blindsided Dan there, and he didn't kick for goal. But anyway, it's come off the upright. We've spread it out wide, and I believe it might have been Jared Mackay jumped and scored a try in the corner, and we're all going crazy because we just won the game. And all the Laurie's boys are spraying this fucking year 7 touchy who turned out to be one of the Dangerfield twins. And he just had this shit-eating grin. He just wouldn't put his flag up. He's 12. There's all these 17-year-olds just fucking abusing him. And he's just like...
That's what it's all about. Like,
that's what we need in the professional...
But see, what's going to happen? You got a result there. It was thrilling. Like, obviously, someone's got to come off second best if there's a result. But the game of rugby wins there.
But it's good speculation to talk about. It's good drama.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Arguably,
vibrating's annoying me.
Oh, just shove it up my hole.
Someone gets some pleasure out of it. Yeah,
exactly.
What are you going to say, Don?
I just like that the story started with we need to get rid of contentious calls by bringing in just more contentious calls.
No, but that's the thing. I think there's always going to be contentious calls. There'll be less calls.
Right, I'm with you.
Let the boys play. Let it flow. Like, I always think about this even with the league. Like, they call some forward passes out of dummy half, and yes, they might be like half a fucking centimetre forward. Is that really giving that big of an advantage to the opposition team?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I know you've got to have a line somewhere that you draw, but sometimes it's like, did you really need to blow that?
Yeah, it's like when you pass it to someone who has no one in front of him and they run 80 metres and score untouched.
Yeah.
Does that meter really...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or even if they're just taking a hit up and the defence is 8 metres behind them and the pass is like literally one step in front of where they need to be, like, do they really deserve to lose the footy there?
I feel like it's more of like a punishment to like, because you have like, I know the role of a hooker is quite...
Yeah.
But, but how hard?
Yeah. It's true.
I remember we had this one referee in 6th grade. He would be perfect for this. We're playing against South one night, and we've passed the ball. Well, Souths have passed the ball. Someone's gone to intercept it from our team and knocked it on.
Yep.
And then he blew a penalty to us. And I was captain. And we were like, oh, okay. And the South boys are like, that came, or the Jeeps guy was like, it came off me.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. And I was like, mate, like, we knocked it on.
Yeah.
He's like, no, South swatted the ball down. And I was like, mate, we're running that way. They're running that way. And we were like, me and the South captain were
trying to convince
arguing
the ref.
point. That I was like,
not
mate,
arguing to get, like, you're on the same
point. Why would I be arguing to give the ball away? I was like, you've given us a penalty. I was like, man, like, and we're fucking smashing them as well. I was like, just give them this. Give them a crumb.
Because there's been a lot of chatter, especially around the cricket, with spirit of the game and stuff like that. And I feel like a referee like this would really encourage spirit of the game.
Yeah.
And in the heat of the moment, you could probably get away with more. But with the level of like technology and cameras and stuff, you're getting crucified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could win, and just because the referee's overweight and 50 metres behind play, but no one's going to let you live it down for the next, you know what I mean, till you play that team again.
Fuck, I would love to just fuck the video ref off in union and league. Like, you can't be watching the game 30 seconds behind and dictating what's happening. That's the reason why you have a fucking referee.
You know what else pisses me off? When someone scores a try, they always look to the ref. Is he going to award it or is he going to go upstairs? Who gives a fuck? Just award them all, because they check them all anyway and bring half of them back.
I often think when I'm watching like really hectic video ref calls, like there's the ball's like bobbled like 16 times and there's like 5 guys and no one can see it. I'm like, this could be wrong either way.
Yeah.
So
and we'll never know.
Back your gut.
Yeah, we'll never know.
And like, to be honest, the players might not even know. But I always think that whenever I see like a really contentious try and they're like frame by frame, I'm like, what would have happened in the QRL this weekend?
Yeah.
What would have happened in Queensland Cup?
What would have happened in 6th grade?
And I think like if I was in that position of that ref, you just go,
fuck
fucks me. You see me celebrating more. Like, that's
just
all
blow
you
the
have
whistle.
in the back pocket.
You'd much rather be annoyed at a human making an error and making the wrong call.
Yeah, because it was impossible to see.
Yeah, because, fuck, I didn't see the knock on, but I gave it a try because it looked like it.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the 2 millimeters of separation between the finger and the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the insinuation that the men in the bunker are not human.
Yeah. Robots.
No, but you're using cameras to go back.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it should just be vibe and vibe alone.
100%.
exactly.
Rugby union needs more vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
It's seriously lacking vibe.
More 6th grade, more vibe.
We need some like Drew Mitchell type characters back.
Yeah, 100%. Lace them up, bro.
Yeah,
He actually is for
squandered
a
talent.
charity match, I think, coming up.
Yeah, I saw that. They're doing it this weekend, I think.
Hectic.
Queanbeyan and someone.
But yeah, if there's any
He's
sixth
playing
grade...
with Zachy Jerem. He plays with Queanbeyan.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out
That'd
to
be
him.
a collision of worlds. If there's any sixth grade referees out there listening and you want us to put you in touch with the ARU, just stick your hand up, let us know, and we'll do that.
Except if your name's Brendan Trudgeon, if you're listening, we will not be helping you.
Yep.
You filthy cunt.
Yep.
Cop
Love
that
you.
trudgeon.
All right, you're going to have to excuse me from reading notes off my computer for this one, but I've done a bit of research. Something really, really weird happened to me during the week, and I wanted to run it by you two. And there's sort of a sports tie-in, so I feel like, you know.
Did you also think about when you lost your virginity?
No, not
I
that
was
weird.
thinking about when you watched it.
That was a
Yeah.
weird part for me.
Yeah, scat thought of the week for those who don't know. But basically, Donny, you might not know this, but Clutzy, I feel like you do. I'm a fucking really bad sleeper. It's gotten way, way better recently, but like I used to go to bed at like 11 o'clock and then still be looking at the ceiling at like 3 and then up at 5:30 for work and just feel like shit all the time. But I house sat for my in-laws for like the last 2 weeks. I've been back at home a few nights now. And whenever I go away, I just never sleep as well. Like, you know, if you're not in your own bed, I feel like that's everyone.
Yeah,
just never
yeah.
sleep as well. So for the last like couple of weeks, I've just been sleeping so bad. So I went and got some magnesium tablets to like help me sleep. And it definitely helped. Like the first night I had them, it knocked me the fuck out.
Yeah,
but
right.
it also made me have some really, really fucking weird dreams.
Yeah.
Like real weird. And I wanted to know, have you boys ever had a dream that's about the future that's actually come true? Like, have you ever had a legitimate dream and woken up and be like, fuck, that felt so real, but then it actually happened?
I have a lot of those moments,
Yeah.
dude, where I'm like, I swear that I've lived this.
Yeah.
Or that I've thought about this before.
Yeah. It happens, right?
Yeah.
Just
Not just me.
hectic deja vu.
Yeah. So there's this neuroscientist, and I was supposed to get her name, but I forgot to add it in. It's this huge article that I've just ripped pieces out of.
Jenny.
So, yeah, I think that was
Jenny
it, Josh.
Lee.
Well done. Basically, she said that it used to happen to her heaps. She kept noticing it. And she thought that it sort of made sense because your body makes like subconscious changes to itself to deal with things that are coming. So she's like, there was some study they did where they just flicked all these photos in front of their test subjects, and photos like weapons would make them sweat more and like heightened senses, whereas photos like flowers would, you know, calm them down. And she used this example to explain it. She said it's very, very like, you know, basic sort of end of it. But like if you're walking down the street and you hear a dog barking around the corner, you're prepared to walk around the corner and see a dog, right? So obviously that's very different to dream, but that's like what she broke it down to. So anyway, what it's called is, if you have a dream about the future, it's called, where is it? Precognitive something. Oh yeah, precognitive dreams.
Okay.
So she did some research which suggested that 15 to 30% of people have experienced them, and events predicted in them seem to happen about 40% of the time to those people.
I know where this is going.
So I thought that was like a pretty fucking like high percentage, right?
Yeah.
But in saying that, I think it's happened to me. I brought it up for you two. You both agreed. So you could argue that 100% of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says in this study, she says, a compelling example of how precognition can manifest through dreams happened to me when I was first divorced. At the time, I was looking for an apartment for my son and me, and I dreamed that my neighbour, Maureen, was renting out a ground floor flat she owned. In the dream, she even let me choose the paint colours. The next day, I asked Maureen if she had known of any flats for rent. We'd barely spoken before, but just as predicted, she did give me a ground floor apartment, and as it was being refurbished, I could pick the paint colours. She signed the lease straight away. So basically, the article just goes on to look at different examples and statistics and blah, blah, blah. So I had a dream, Donny, during the week, and it was so fucking real. Like, everything about it was so real.
Okay.
I was up in Townsville at the Cowboys home stadium, and the mighty Brisbane Broncos broke every record under the sun and beat the Cowboys 168 to 8.
He messaged me that the other day. I was like, fuck.
It was
That's so
so
whack
real.
that's going to happen.
So whack. Like, is that how many weeks we got till the game's on?
I believe it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, I bet you haven't had any dreams about the Cowboys beating the Broncos.
No, because
168 to 8. Sorry, you did give us 2 tries there. I'm
Two
assuming
tries,
they're unconverted.
Well, I was one try and a penalty goal, but yeah, sure.
So you
Now,
really
Donny-
watched the whole 80.
Donny, if I may hijack here, you got to sort of see that coming.
I
Now,
like
you know
this.
why? You know why?
Why is that?
Well, because you did a tier ranking system, right?
Here we go. Here
and
we
you
go.
had the Broncos in tier 1.
Yeah, they are.
Who do you
tier
support
one.
again?
The Cowboys.
And what tier did you have them?
I believe tier 3 for the run home. For the
Why?
run home, they're currently not in the 8, which would have to put them for the season that they've had as a tier 3 side. Whereas the Broncos, for the season that they've had, they should be favourites to win the whole thing.
As someone who is a supporter of a team, I would like to point out Tom and Eddie, who support the Manly Sea Eagles, always say that they're going to win a premiership, regardless of position.
The week after I was down there, on the podcast, they proclaimed the season was done.
Today they said we're still in it and we can still win it. I was listening to that today. So,
But like you could argue as well.
what I'm trying to get at.
But what you could argue, Josh, is that tier 1 teams are probably going to be tier 3 teams.
Yeah.
Especially if you're dreaming about it in the future.
Also, if you support a team, they're not tier 3, they're always tier 1.
No, they're tier 1 to me. To me, they're tier 1.
Go fucking
in my heart, in my soul.
Well, why didn't you put it on your fucking poster card?
I love this. I love this because this game is not that far away, and I really thought I might be the one shooting the first shot. But you've sat there and wrote this essay to then right turn into what I would consider to be a jab, not a shot. And you've come at me with a jab.
I don't think it is.
Sorry, hang on.
And
you're calling neuroscience a jab, not a shot.
No. The
Are you discrediting
turn
Jenny?
into 162 to 8 against the Cows is a jab.
It was 168.
You've
Dude, it's a dream. It's a precognitive dream.
I'm just saying, I'm happy that battle lines have been drawn on this show. And
it's
with
just a
3
state
weeks
of
to go,
mind.
that's all I'm saying. I'll take on board this ridiculous dream. I have dreams all the time.
Yep.
They don't all come true.
Yeah,
Clearly.
I had dreams to come on this show today and have a good time.
Hey, it's early days.
Yeah, it's very early.
We built a wall. We had some pizza.
But I will say I'm very excited for the next few weeks because I will also be doing some research as to why I think the Cowboys will destroy the Broncos. Darcy came at me in a way that he hasn't come at me before about this tier list. And I didn't know what to think because at the end of the day, he wanted the list to be correct. But he was angry that it was my opinion.
Is this the whole you've been saying that the Cowboys will beat the Broncos, but you're ranking the Cowboys as 2 tiers below the Broncos?
Yeah, that's what really
I think you're
got me.
looking too black and white at this.
I'm not.
I'm allowed to think that because it's a derby. It's a derby. It's a derby. So those games happen in vacuums.
Is it a derby or a derby?
Yeah, you
Make
know
your
what it
fucking
is.
mind
That's
up.
a question for another
Is it
day.
tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
We're going to unpack that in the next segment.
Are the Cowboys going to make the 8? Do I actually support them?
They will make the 8. They will make the 8. I've been saying they'll make the 8 for weeks now. So I do think they make the 8. But derbies happen in a vacuum. And so even if the Cows were last and the Broncos were first, derbies are not so much of a vacuum, but more of a
little
sous
bit more.
vide.
They're like they're like a one you have to plug in.
Yeah.
He's talking about a Dyson cordless fucking stick thing, like the $3,000 ones,
And so
which he probably has.
But what I couldn't understand was Darcy didn't believe me when I said derbies happen in vacuums, and I just think they do. Even if the Broncos were dead last and the Cows were first, it'd still be a danger game.
Look, mate, it just didn't make much sense to me that you had been spouting absolute garbage about how the Cowboys are going to beat the Bronx, but then you had them ranked 2 tiers above. That's all I'm saying.
It's fucking dumb.
And you also didn't factor in neuroscience, which is now on our side.
And to be honest, if you look at my track record, I've historically forgotten to factor that in.
It does happen quite a bit on the Donny Sports Show.
Yeah.
Neuroscientists, please reach out. But yeah, 168 to 8. Load up on Bluebet. That'll be our market for that week. The exact score of.
I cannot wait for that game. My head is racing. My mind is racing. Next week, I'll begin because I'll retaliate to that jab. I knew when Klutz said, "I think I know where that's going," I had a bit of a shiver up my spine.
No, because we have not spoken about this. I just knew that he's like, dude, I woke up and had the scattest dream. The Broncos won 168 to 8.
You're right. That is scat because it won't happen.
Dude, you know what the worst thing, the scattest thing about it was?
It's a 40% chance of it happening.
That's what I mean.
Crazy part.
Yeah, 30% of people
that's
have
the
dreams.
crazy part.
That's me. 30%, and 40. There's 40% chance happening. No, I remember the weirdest thing about it, which almost fucking. You know when sometimes you're having a dream and you're like, this must be a dream.
Yeah.
I remember googling what the highest point scored in an NRL game was, and that was only number 10, like 10 highest. That seems awfully low. Like,
Fuck, that's so crazy.
but
I
yeah,
cannot
shout out
wait
to
for
the
that
Broncos.
game. That will
Yeah,
make me
too.
very happy because I'll get my 2 cases of bloke back.
Well, see, well, no, you'll break even, basically, because
that's
you never
right.
gave me the cases. The good thing for you now is I've set such a high bar. Like, if the Cowboys lose by 20, you're like, well, could have been 100,
Yeah, it could have been
148 worse.
Fuck. Thanks, man.
I saw something else during the week. It was actually on the Hamish and Andy podcast, which we're big fans of.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it was on the Hamish and Andy podcast, but it was definitely Andy Lee. And basically, they were talking about wearing your club's jerseys, specifically to games. And Donny, I actually know where you sit on
Yeah,
this. We've
in
had
a
this
big
conversation
way.
before. Yeah. Basically, Andy, I think, wore his AFL club's jersey to a game and ended up in the dressing sheds. And one of the players was like, what are you, 8 years old? And like paid him out for wearing his jersey. And the show was on that. They were like, what's the like age that you know, should no longer wear your team's jersey to games? And they were all like 16. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I haven't been to a game in years without wearing a jersey.
Hang on.
Yeah.
If you look at State of Origin, for example,
Yeah.
I would say the median age of the punter there was 30.
Yeah, probably even older.
Even older.
Yeah.
And how many people were wearing jerseys?
I had mine on.
I'd probably say 50,000.
I kind of get where they're coming from. It's like, you're not
lot
fucking,
less.
you're not playing. Like,
Yeah,
but also you're supporting.
Also, if I'm not wearing this and not buying this, you're not getting paid what you're getting paid, you
Yeah.
privileged little fuck.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
reckon, do the players get a cut of that, surely?
They do get
I'm sure it comes all out in the
There's
wash.
some-
Yeah.
yeah, but
salaries.
Yeah, yeah.
you think about it, man, like jersey sales and merch sales and stuff would be such a large
They're
portion
so
of,
expensive.
of what a club would earn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine if you took that away.
Yeah.
Well, no, all the little kids can still wear theirs, but
Yeah.
just the adults.
Yeah.
I actually have a bit of a story the same as Andy. On the
really?
very first, on round 1 this year, Dolphins versus Roosters,
Yeah.
we're doing a bunch of content at Suncorp Stadium.
Must be nice.
And, well, you were also with me in a box there, so it was very nice.
It was. Thank you.
We were fucking
Before
blind.
the game, we got to do a bit of like a walk around the dressing sheds, and the
Yeah.
boys were in there.
Yeah.
And I was getting a few odd looks, and I just thought, you know, because like, why are you
In here,
but
yeah.
I realized, like, after about 5 minutes of being in the sheds, I was wearing a Dolphins jersey.
Yeah, see, do you reckon the sheds is a bit different as well?
That is very different. Very different. Jesse Bromwich came up to me and said, so Katie Bromwich came up to me and said, hey, how are you? Almost as if he thought I was a Make-A-Wish kid he had to interact with.
What's your name?
Well, that's lovely of him. Shout out to
Oh,
him.
fucking oath.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's
Very
just been a
lovely
good
of him.
He's an
bloke.
upstanding citizen, Jesse.
And-
We've
Yeah.
always known that.
I was in there maybe an hour and a half before kickoff, and I just love that Kenny just had the time of the day to be like,
Yeah.
well, I'll go talk to this bloke that's wearing a Dolphins
Yeah, it's
kit
probably
in
because
the
you were
dressing room.
probably because you were in the corner passing the ball against the wall, stretching your hamstrings and shit. Like,
So I know how he feels. I did feel quite awkward when it hit me.
Yeah.
But I've been big staunch, not staunch. If you want to wear a jersey, it really started with a face paint. I think face paint has been a step too far. But then if you want to wear face paint, you do what you want to do. It's just not for me. But the jersey, I just don't, because normally when I go to the footy, my night doesn't end at the footy.
Yeah.
So I just don't like to pigeonhole
Hold
myself.
yourself, yeah.
And I'm not a man that can shop easily for a jersey in this day and age with the skin tight nature.
Dude, they're
It's
also
not something that
so
can-
expensive.
Yeah, and they're like $180. If I'm going to buy a shirt for $180, it's not going to be
Shout
a
out to the
billboard.
Melbourne Storm organisation where I bought a 2XL jersey and I can't even fit it over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's on the Melbourne Storm, bro.
No, it's true because
Hey, man.
like this shirt's a 2X. If I had
Yeah.
a 2X Cows jersey, it would be like,
Yeah, yeah,
it'd
yeah.
be not safe
But there's-
for work.
there's a
You'd
difference-
get
there's 2X
demonetized on YouTube.
There's a difference between a heavy box tee and a fucking
But this
on-field
is my
replica.
question, why? Why?
Yeah.
Because nobody actually
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
on-field replica.
Replica, yeah.
Like none of us want the on-field replica.
That's a
We
that's a
all-
big day.
2009.
That's if you're wearing like a skin tight, like that's a different story than just like.
But
a
like,
fucking,
why? Well, like, you have full knowledge. This is a product that is only developed in Australia. You only have
Yeah.
to worry
Can
about
I-
us.
can
Just
I-
size them differently.
Can I say, maybe they don't want the older people to be wearing it. And for me, for example, if I have to buy a 3 or even 4XL, I'm probably off buying
Yeah, I just
because
can't
I'm
do
like,
it. That's when they start
oh
using.
my god,
when they
what
start
have you
using
become?
the numbers and not the X's, I can't buy that gum.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is like that's a 4X is probably costing them way more than a 2X.
Yeah, and it's the same price. So good on them for that.
Yeah.
But not that much more because I'm telling you, they're not that big. Like,
Fuck no. But I'm a big proponent of jerseys. I have heaps of jerseys and I wear them.
I have a spot in my heart for retro jerseys.
Yeah, okay.
But the current jerseys, they just rarely look cool.
Good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I fully get like supporting a team. Like, I wear a Cowboys hat.
Yeah, or like a polo shirt or something.
And my big thing has always been, I'm not on the team.
Do you know what I would?
Which may come as a shock to people listening.
Do you know what I
Donny
would
does
find
not play for the
fucking weird?
Cowboys.
Imagine 10 years' time, I rock up to Jeeps and I'm wearing my 6th grade 2022 premiership winning jersey or the 2018 one. And it's like,
Who the
Who
fuck is
are
that
you?
guy?
look
Yeah.
at that guy.
Yeah.
Almost 40 with a fucking beer gut like no other.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sight to
That
behold.
would be, I would wig out if I saw someone
That.
wearing a club rugby jersey like
Yeah.
that. That would fuck me.
It's an interesting point. He just basically, it was like a well-written Batuta article. You know, the ones that just,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's me. I wear jerseys.
If there's any NRL players listening to this, welcome.
Surely
Thank
you've
you.
got better things to do.
And yeah, surely you got better things to do. But please don't make me feel worse about myself
Yeah.
for wearing a
It's
jersey.
bad enough.
Well, it makes us think because that replica, the game worn jersey you got, the fact that was a medium.
Yeah, that's
that's just part and parcel.
And dude, that was worn by
Dallas Johnson
fucking-
is not a medium
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
He's
He played
simply
State of
not a
Origin.
medium man.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't worn a medium since I was like 10. And I'm fucking not
Who's
big.
buying
How do you
medium?
think I fucking feel?
Yeah.
Bro, I just start wearing like the adults. You know how it's like the kids 10 and shit like that?
Yeah.
Or how once you get over 16, I think it goes to
Yeah,
like
it's like-
medium large,
yeah,
that sort
yeah,
of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I didn't get to have a good childhood in the numbers.
Not a numbers guy.
I think by the
You make
the
up
age
for it
of
now with the
8.
numbers before the X's.
I think by the age of 8, I was definitely over a 16.
I think the AFL jersey is a bit ridiculous too because
I was
it is
gonna
a
say,
singlet.
singlet, yeah.
And also
In
because
Melbourne.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like the scarves, like I'm so jealous
Yeah.
of the AFL and their scarves. They're fucking sick. There's no other way to display.
surprised.
I agree, yeah.
As someone that's like, and I do love the AFL and I love going to Melbourne, but
Yep.
I had a Brisbane Lions membership last year.
Yep.
And it came with a scarf. What a wasted item.
Yeah, I'll wear this 2 days or 2 days
out
of the year.
Yeah.
The other
it
thing
cold enough
is
for me to
like
scarf up?
the example I was initially talking about with Andy and the jerseys was obviously AFL, so singlet. Like if you rocked up to the Caxton for a beer with me in a singlet, not even a jersey, just a
Yeah.
singlet, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Why are you doing that?
why do you not
are
have
near
sleeves
me?
on, dude? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sleeveless on skin is crazy. Crazy. Like,
That is pretty fucked.
Insane.
when I was at
Like, are we playing in the NBA or?
we were shooting a cheap seat. No, back when at Bluey we used to do cheap seats and Worth It.
Yeah.
Sadly, Worth It got ripped out of my hands. Is
Yeah.
when we bought the most expensive ticket to see if it was worth it. We only got 3 episodes in and funding was cut. I don't know what happened.
Wasn't worth it.
We're up in the Gabba grounds, have this like nice section up there, and it was like they said, you have to wear enclosed shoes and everything. So I was dressed with a button up, and then when I walked outside, somehow he must have got in there. Essendon singlet, Essendon footy shorts,
Yep.
Essendon socks with slides on,
Just full kit wanker.
Essendon beanie, and then on his arm, Essendon tattoo with all the years they'd won the premiership.
Fuck.
Huge.
That is true, Blue. AFL supporters are a different
Clutzy,
beast.
odds you getting a fucking Jeeps tattoo and getting every year you win the premiership underneath.
Have I not told you that plan?
No.
I want to get it on my ass cheek.
Oh fuck yeah!
So far I got 2018 and 2022.
On
And
your
I-
ass cheek.
No, like what I want to do is get a Jeeps tat and then put like 2018 6th grade, 2022 6th grade, that sort of shit.
Just in case you win a first grade one day.
well, I might win a 5th grade.
Yeah, okay.
And I've
true,
also
true.
got to put in the 2013 Division 2.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was listening to Ice Cube talk about the big three that they do in the States.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it? It's pretty much a basketball competition where it's just three big three.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of old retired players.
Yeah.
And it's because he said they can still ball, but it's just like they can't do 82 games in a season.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it
yeah,
got
'cause
me
they play
thinking,
fucking
like,
every day.
if you only had to prepare for one game, Klutz, what level of rugby do you think that you could, if you had a whole year to prepare for just one game and just one game only, like what level of rugby do you think you could actually play at? Could you play in the World Cup if it's one game?
If it's one game, well, I don't know. If we're playing against Portugal, then probably. No, I don't know.
I reckon you could get a run for the Reds if it was one game, one time, and you had as much time as you wanted to prepare for the one game.
Fucking probably. I'd be quite big.
Yeah, right?
And fit for one game. I did have a plan years ago where I wanted to move over to Canada and start playing footy over there to try and make the Canadian team to go to World Cups.
Yeah.
Don't you have to be Canadian
Sick.
to do that though?
No, there's something where, dude, it's so
Oh, 'cause they're like a
scary.
second
Those
tier
lower
nation or
tier,
something, yeah.
Rugby nations, you only have to play X amount of years over there.
Yeah, right.
There's a dude that was playing the equivalent to 4th or 5th grade at Jeeps, maybe 3rd grade, and he played for Canada like
Yeah, loose.
10, 15 years ago in a World Cup.
Huge.
That's sick.
That could have been me.
Yeah,
It still
there's
can
still
be.
time, man.
All right, well,
See you. This is the end of
I'm
the Bloody
actually
Rugby
gonna be-
podcast. Clutch is going to be in Canada
when you
following
called me
you
today
soon.
saying you'd quit.
oh, yeah, did I say that?
No,
Today, I called up Don and I was so straight faced. I was like, "Hey man, I'm just trying to give you a courtesy call." He's like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" I've actually quit the Bloody Brute Beers podcast, but just delivered it so straight.
just call him out of the blue to tell him that.
yeah, because you're like, let him know that you're going to be later. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm just giving you a courtesy call.
I'm never coming.
I've actually quit the podcast. He goes, dude, what? I was like, nah, just joking. I'm gonna go do
Give me that
some
seven.
Rock,
Yeah.
rock.
So, yeah.
But if you do want to quit and go to Canada,
We'll come with you.
We could all pack
Yeah.
up and
why
go
don't
to
we
Canada.
go? Let's not quit. Let's just
Go to Canada.
Yeah, we could do the Caxton Canada edition.
We just got this sign up the stairs, boys. This wall. How the fuck are we going to get this wall through customs?
go easy. I don't know. Well, yeah, we could try.
It took me months. Anyway, shout out to Andy Lee.
So I saw something the other day. It actually got sent to me, and it was requested, could you bring this up on the pod? And I'm like, for you, anything, my friend.
Who requested?
My mate Heary. So
Oh, nice.
Friend
Yep.
of the show now, officially,
Yeah.
I guess. And
Shout out
if
to
he
Heary.
just wants to continue giving me content,
Yeah, it's good
feel
to
free.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, start speaking.
But he was quite angry. We actually spoke about this not long ago on the pod. He's my Macedonian friend that's a massive Volk fan, and
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
saying that he doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So let me read this out to you. The mayor of Wollongong has outright, I don't even know if it was provoked,
Which is where Volk's from.
yeah, which is where
Yeah.
Volk's from, has said that he will never award the keys of the city to Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah.
And goes on to say, I have a responsibility as the Lord Mayor of the city and as a responsible human being not to endorse things which are violent. It is against everything we stand for in our community in terms of violence and promoting violence. What sort of endorsement is this if I put that nomination forward when his profile is supporting an activity like that? Huge. And I
Idiot.
think it's quite a weird position to take as the mayor of Wollongong.
That is so weird.
You've sat by and watched the Dragons get violently beaten for years
For
now,
a long
and you haven't
time.
said a thing right under your nose. And if you're wondering what he looks like, it is.
Yeah. At a shock to no
Oh
one.
my God.
And
That's
so
what he
if
looks
if
like.
you have a look at what this guy looks like, the headline probably could have read 72-year-old politician that wears fedoras thinks exactly what you think he is.
Yeah. It's a Batuta. He's a walking Batuta advocate.
He is a
article.
walking potato.
Donny sent that through in our group chat and was like, let's do this and talk about other things that the mayor of Wollongong should be worried about. And the first thing that popped to my head was TV ratings in tonight's game, which is the Dragons versus the Tigers.
Yes.
Who the fuck wants to
100%.
watch that, bruh?
100%. Also, probably losing your rugby league team.
Yeah.
Actually losing anything that anyone gives a fuck about.
Yeah. I had another one that was he should be worried about as the population of his town ages, the fact that it's being overrun by Brisbane Broncos players, because that's where they all seem to fucking go once they want to finish their career, just go have a stint at the Dragons.
I think you should worry about trying to keep Ben Hunt down there. Put more energy
Fucking
into that.
oath,
I think it's
bruh.
crazy that, like, that, like we were saying, we feel like he's underappreciated, and he must have heard the pod and go, yes, he is.
Yeah. It's the fact that you've got a player who like potentially could be eligible under your fucking strict criteria to get the keys to the city. He'd rather spend 150 grand to go elsewhere of his own hard-earned cash.
What does someone have to do to earn the keys of the city of Wollongong?
Yeah, let us know.
Where's the gates of Wollongong?
Yeah.
Is another question I have.
What does
Clearly there's none because they let anyone in there.
What doors are these keys
opening?
unlocking?
Yeah,
Is
doors
it
to
his
nowhere,
home?
doors
Is it
to
his
despair.
home?
I actually was doing a bit of research on Wollongong. Don't really know much about the place. And this excerpt comes from an article written by Shit Towns of Australia. So probably take it with a grain of salt. I don't think they've got too much to say nice about anyone. But Wollongong is synonymous with words starting with UN or un. Uncultured, unsafe, uninspiring, unclean, unsightly, undeniably unpleasant, unemployment, unprotected sex, unconsciousness, and uncle dads. It's commonly referred to as the Gong because of all the bashings. And aside from general violence and despair, Wollongong is famous for its beaches, which is fortunate because any length of time in town will leave you with the overwhelming desire to walk into the sea. It's also been known as Newcastle for people who have given up.
Wow, Shit Towns of Australia's really gone to work there.
Didn't miss.
Well,
No.
it must be a very shit town they're going to mention. Fucking shout out to them.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe just what an unnecessary position to take. And
Because every UFC fighter is just going to walk the streets bashing people.
Yeah. What year is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Footloose.
Yeah, literally.
He's going to
literally.
outlaw dancing next.
Which was the bald brother that purchased a stake in the Illawarra Hawks?
Not sure.
Because I think his family should be worried about what he saw in the Wollongong area and like what his mental state is to want to purchase a
that.
fucking
I wonder how
NBL
Volk
team.
Oh,
feels.
no, it was
Like-
LaMelo Ball, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Lamelo.
Yeah,
Was
that's
Lamelo?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I thought you said bald.
Yeah, I thought you said who's the bald
I was
brother.
thinking of who's the fucking the Walker brothers.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was like, I don't know
I
which
was thinking
one's
about
the
bald
bald
brothers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
His family should probably
He
just wanna
played for
check-
them, I
Yeah,
think,
he
dude.
did.
Yeah.
But like, what did you see in them?
I wonder
Yeah.
if LaMelo ever got the keys to the city.
Yeah.
But
Dude, LaMelo would have a
from the
fuck-
Gong. He must feel awful.
LaMelo would have a fucking box full of keys to cities he doesn't even know about. Like, fucking keys to Wollongong, yeah, throw them in the box.
I'm
Also, how would
happy
you-
to give Volk the keys to Brizzy if he wants them.
Fucking
Come
oath,
on up.
man.
I'm sure we can give you some
Keys to the Caxton, we can
Yeah,
fucking
we can
guarantee
fucking
that.
sort
Like,
that
we
out
will
in a
have to
heartbeat.
check, but I don't think there'll be too much hesitation. Maybe we should start that movement. Tag Volk in this clip. Let's get him the fucking keys to the Caxton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get Volkanovski to the Kako.
Yeah, keys to the CAC. You come here whenever you want, mate. It's yours. Mikasa Sukasa.
Alrighty, so we've got footy tips of the week. We've been going all right recently. Round 21 is upon us, and the NRL has blessed us with one of the all-time great shit games to put on a Thursday night to kick off a round. No offense to the players, you just both play for piss poor clubs.
Not your fault.
Between
Not
the
your
two,
fault.
between the two clubs, there's been one win in the last 10 games.
That's fucked.
I will say the last few, like I'm going back as far as round 17. There hasn't been a good opening game
Yeah.
to the round in a long,
There usually
long
isn't.
time. The
Nah.
last time was Cows Panthers, and then it was Dragons Warriors into Sharks Dragons into West Sharks
And
into
dude,
Knights Tigers.
There's been a few where, because of Origin, there wasn't any Thursday night games as well, which sucks.
So that was the Friday night prime time
Yeah.
game. I'm sure Channel 9's very happy about that.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Stoked.
the NRL though for giving the Dragons and the Tigers majority of Thursday games so that fucking fans don't have to suffer that much through the weekend.
Yeah, true.
Get it
yeah,
over and done with before the weekend so they can
Get
enjoy
the
it.
hopes up.
Yeah.
In saying that, I'm tipping the Dragons at home in the lovely Wollongong.
Everyone loves Wollongong.
Everyone loves the gong.
Beautiful part of the world down there.
Yeah, fucking spectacular, apparently.
I don't know why, but I just got a feeling the Tigers win.
I also have that feeling.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Tigers,
My
but
only-
like based off absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Don't.
My only thing here is the Dragons did actually have a decent home record last year.
Yeah. Last year.
And then it sort of happened this year, and then they just fucking suck.
Yeah.
Where is that game? If it's that does matter to me.
Wollongong.
Win Stadium and Wollongong.
Yeah.
Nah, Thursday Night Lights. I think that's. I think they'll choke.
It's the Dream Buller show.
Get the mayor down there to give them a rev up.
Fuck the man.
The Wars and the Raiders in
Great game.
Auckland. I'm going the Wars.
You got it right.
Yeah.
In a big
that
way.
performance on the weekend.
FIFA, Raiders fourth. I don't
Yeah,
think
dude.
anyone's talking about
I heard that today,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What the?"
I thought they'd be like
They've
How did
snuck
that
up
happen?
there. They've
Yeah.
definitely
Fucked.
snuck up there. Did you see what Guru said about the Wars now? So someone obviously hit him up and said, "Oh, you need to give the Wars a bit of spotlight." And he said, "No, this is just
Yeah, 'cause
expected of the Warriors now."
I think the person said like the play of the round should be the Warriors winning. He's like, "Why? Like that's where they deserve to be. Like that's the
I
team."
feel the
they
same
are.
way too. Like,
Yeah.
like bigging up the Warriors now is just a bit odd because it's like
It'd be
no,
like bigging up the Panthers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
yeah.
not that I expect it of you, but it's not a weird thing when the Warriors are kicking ass. They're
Because
just
they're
that
fucking good.
Like,
Yeah, they're legit as fuck this
They got
year.
a good coach finally.
Yeah.
Next game, South's Broncos at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Bit of a weird one there.
Easily game of the round, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, well,
100%.
actually, was Canberra will be good as well.
It,
But
it should be, and the fact that that's a Friday is always fun.
yeah, Latrell Mitchell's back. Reece Walsh is back.
The Rabbitohs have basically everyone back.
I think the Bronx do too.
Yeah.
No Flegler.
Yeah.
But Capewell's back, Haas is back, and Paddy Carrigan's back.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think South's in a tight one, to be honest. I just think they've got all their boys back. They've
Yep.
got 8 boys coming back this week. Trell, Campbell, Graham, to name a few that are really making me horny. So I just
Yeah.
think that both teams are going to be fine, but I just think there's more bullets in the chamber of South.
South needed to get on a bit of a run
They
too.
did. They
like-
need to start putting
Yeah.
scalps together.
Yeah.
I was-
They're sitting 8th.
I was very close to picking Souths here. I think it's going to be incredibly tight. I just think a few of the South boys might have been out for that little bit too long. But I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. But I'm going Broncos.
Yeah.
It's
I've gone
very
Broncos.
Souths. Like if you look at their records the last few years, this is when they start to kick
Yeah,
in and they
yeah.
get really scary.
They got an insanely easy run home
Yeah.
compared to some other
They
clubs.
become
as well.
quite human in the middle of the year, and then towards the back end, they always start to
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
I will say 8 p.m. at Sunshine Coast Stadium is odd as. I can't really put my mind onto why that is. It just, Sunshine Coast Stadium definitely needs to be Sunday games only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Because it should be a sellout game.
It's
Well,
absolutely
it will
sold
be,
out.
but it's there won't be many there. I'm tipping Bronx, but I'll tip Broncos of the day I die. So there's just a bit of a what would you call that? Like a caveat on that. Super Saturday kicking off at Seabus Super Stadium. The Gold Coast Titans versus Sydney Roosters.
Isn't it crazy that
Is
I'm
it-
about to say who knows?
Isn't it crazy? I'm about to tip the Titans
Yeah, I'm tipping Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
I like the Titans.
at home.
I'll say it for now, the 21st week in a row. Surely the Roosters are going to start putting it together soon.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Dude,
not going to
they're
happen.
fucked. No,
it's just
they're
not
done.
going to happen.
Yeah,
hey?
no, they're done.
That game on the weekend, it was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was like it's not that they weren't trying. There was just no real
Flow.
gusto. A lack
Yeah.
of gusto.
Yeah.
Yeah, big luck.
I agree. I'm tipping the Titans again. Not confident. Lots of 50-50 games this week.
Yeah,
I feel.
this is a tough round to be betting.
I'm definitely going Titans.
This could make or break people's tipping comps. I
Yeah,
reckon, this year.
absolutely. I think just because I want to also be a part of something special, I want to tip the Titans.
Okay,
as
so
well.
nice.
the podcast special is the Titans this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Next game, 5:30 game down in Newcastle. It's Newcastle versus Melbourne. I'm obviously going Melbourne.
I'm going Melbourne too.
I think Melbourne are going to hurt them. I think they're going
Yeah.
to make an example out of
Melbourne are starting, as you said, Souths. They're starting to fucking fire, starting to
Get
connect.
those Pistons warming up.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
starting to get a bit scary again.
Melbourne also, I feel like people haven't been talking as much about them as what they usually do.
Really under
They're
the
going under the
radar.
radar. The
Very
Raider
much
Raider.
Are they becoming fifth or something, the Storm?
I think
Yeah,
they
they-
might be second.
They've been in the
Second, no,
Like,
dude,
it
Broncos
doesn't
are.
feel like they've been in the 8
Or
all year,
third?
but they have been. They haven't
third,
really
yeah.
struggled, but I think they started slow. They're third. Yeah, like
There you go, yeah.
They've just been.
Yeah, we had a very slow start to the year, but a lot of new cogs in the machine, I suppose. You
Yeah.
had to get them oiled, and now we're a well-oiled machine going together.
connecting as they
Yeah.
work through. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going Storm.
Yep.
Yeah, Storm in a big way.
Next one, North Queensland Para. I think the Cowboys are arguably the hottest team in the comp right now.
In a
Yep.
big way, Clark.
Like,
Thank
they
you for
are-
finally
they
coming
are-
on board.
At
Oh,
home.
dude, I love the Cows.
Don't we all?
But I don't know about you, man.
We do. I don't know about you.
I think they're like a tier one team, personally. But everyone wrote them off at the start of the year, but they just needed to click. And I
Yeah.
feel like Origin was a spark for them.
Galvanizing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
They got that
dun.
spirit back. Parramatta have been good as well.
This
but
is a danger game.
Big
it is a
time.
danger game. Two teams that arguably, if whoever loses this could potentially not make the 8 this year.
Absolutely. It's a
Yep.
huge game, and both teams definitely have the the cattle to do it.
Yeah.
It's very scary. I think Eels are priced a bit like there is some value there because
Big time.
the only thing is I know Para playing Cows away, they never do well, especially going up north. But it is still cold, so I don't know how humid it'll be up there.
Isn't it funny if this was in Para, this price almost would be reversed, you'd think?
Absolutely.
Like,
And they are becoming more of a fortress up there every
Yeah.
week as the time goes on. But I just think Cows obviously get it done, but I mean,
Tough game.
The Eels went up there last year in a prelim final and beat them there. So.
But also the Eels, I've said it my whole life, Eels are pretenders. So yeah, I'm going the Cowboys. Sunday, probably the
Easiest game to pick
easiest
of the
game to
round.
pick the whole round. Yeah, Penrith Panthers versus the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
And they've got Fox and Kickout in the reserves, just seeing if they can rush them
Really?
back. But like, I don't know.
I'm going Penrith at a shock to no one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely going Penrith.
I learnt my lesson last week when I said that Belmore might be a dangerous place to go.
It's
Like,
also
I was
not at
referring to
Belmore.
just for a kebab.
Blue Bet at the time of recording has the Penrith Panthers at $1.01.
Fucking hell.
I saw something today. I think this is the third highest discrepancy in betting for a team, or it might be the highest. $15 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, right.
When I was
That is crazy in a 2-horse race.
It is really.
when I was building our bet of the week, and if you've listened this far to the podcast, you would have already heard it. But initially, it was going to be Panthers and Storm by a combined margin of 20 plus points. And the bloke who I talked to, organises it, texted me back saying, that is priced so badly that if it gets up, you'll have to pay Blue Bet. They won't pay you. He said the line's like 30 or something. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh, okay,
fucked.
well, we might leave that out. But that gives you an indication as to where my head's at. I'm going Penrith.
Yeah, big way.
And then the final game of the round, Points Best Stadium, Sunday, the Cronulla Sharks versus the Manly Seagulls. I think the Sharks have too much on the line for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Manly's fucked for the year. Everyone's talking about the Sharks and how they need a lift if they want to make the 8.
They'll win because they're not a top
I
8
think the
side.
Cronulla
So they'll
Sutherland Sharks will absolutely decimate the Manly Sea Eagles
Yep, me too.
because they win big against the bottom 8 teams. It's actually a
but-
proven fucking thing now that they
Yeah.
just beat bottom 8 teams.
They're the new flat track bullies, and they're going up
Yeah.
against flat track bullies of old, Manly.
Oh, yes, dude.
So it's like the flat track.
It's a changing of the guard.
Flat track.
It's the changing of the guard. I like that. I think the Sharks pump them.
Yeah.
Pump them bad. But
Me too.
But Manly, I don't know, DCE could do something, but it might be close. I wouldn't say more than 13 plus.
I think it's more than likely that instead of DCE doing something, it's going to be Nico Hines, who steps up. He's going to want to play finals footy, and their run's going to have to start this week.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm going the Sharkies.
I like it.
Right, well, that's pretty much all we've got time for this week. Thanks for joining us, as always, Don.
No, thanks for having me.
Make sure you get around the Don at Donny Sports absolutely everywhere. We'll see you next week. See you on Monday.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.